The CS2 market has been pretty boring over the last couple weeks ever since the trade revert update, which also marked the all-time high for the CS2 market. And since we've been down quite a bit, currently speaking, if we look at the 7-day, we are down 1.34%. In the last 30 days, we're down about 7.8%. And in the last 90 days, we are only up 1.42%. Now, there's definitely been some outliers within this entire 90-day period that have kind of been pretty exciting to watch run, like for an example, the recent sticker craze. But outside of that, most of the market has been pretty boring over the last 90 days or so. And we are just using this time to buy up a lot of great investments because when we think about how to invest, we never want to buy at the peak. We never want to buy euphoria or excitement or happiness. We want to buy that boring time where nobody really cares about the market. They're not hype about it. They're not excited or anything like that. So now is technically a pretty good time to be looking at some solid buy opportunities in this space, which is why I have been making a lot of videos regarding cases and certain skins. Now, if you want to stay up to date on all things around the CS2 market, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. Now, with that being said, let's dive on in and let's actually talk about a few things. I'm actually going to be talking about Glock-18 skins that are going to be solid investments for the mid to long term range. Now, going off of the market right now for the Glock market, most of the Glock market is actually down in a big way over the last like 30 days or so. And I gotta say, some very good investments. If you have the money, the Glock-18 fade is not a bad decision, especially considering the fact that it is down in the last 30 days and even in the last 60 days. But we're not here for easy investments. Everyone knows that the Glock-18 fade has been a very solid investment ever since the launch of CS2, and it's always been a sought after skin in the game as well. In this video, I actually want to go over a lot of overlooked and maybe even extremely undervalued Glock-18 skins that could, really return a strong ROI on your investment. So with that being said, let's actually talk about a few things. Let's talk about just the Glock skins in general, because I feel like, the Glock itself, it has some very strong skins tied to it. It's the main pistol on T side. It's a pistol that everyone uses. So they want to have the flashiest or even the best looking Glock skins tied to it, which is why a lot of these skins have been going up in value because, again, supply and demand. But also, I feel like the Glock has some of the best looking skins in the game. Even some of the lower tier skins for the Glock also look very good. Like, for an example, just pulling the Coral Bloom out of, the hat, look at how nice this skin actually looks. I mean, I know that it's not everyone's favorite, but, similar to like the Wild Lotus, I feel like this just looks very clean and it looks good for, a Glock-18 skin. And this is a low tier skin that's worth only about like 83 cents to almost $5. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the skins for the Glock-18 itself are just so overlooked. Now, let's start off with the first skin, which is a very common, and it's an OG skin. It's actually one that I was using back in 2017, and that's the Water Elemental. It's crazy to see how crazy this skin has gone up in value. I mean, I know that back here, if you were buying for like $22 or so, it's not like a crazy increase. But what's interesting about the Water Elemental is just how clean it looks, especially even in red inventories. Like, if we think about this, it has that blue that kind of contrasts with the red. It just looks very clean to me. It looks very simple. And in CS2, I think that it looks 10 times better than CSGO. And I just think that it's going to be one of those skins that is kind of sought after, I feel like. And it is a part of a collection that, if we really look at it, are we using the Water Elemental to trade up to like the Asimov P90 or the Cyrex? Not exactly, but you could technically use it for that. I just think that this case itself, and the reason why it's so expensive, is simply because of the knives, which I'm sure that by now you could already see that it has the butterfly fade in it, has the slaughter, it has some very strong knives in it, and that's exactly why this case itself is so expensive, which is also limiting the supply of the Water Elementals. Now, did it, really limit the supply that much? Not exactly, considering the fact that the StatTrak Factory News, there's still about 12,000 out there. But the good news about this is, when we look at the price for the Glock-18 Water Elemental, the price is not that crazy expensive, which means we could buy a couple of these, sit on them, and they might actually make us some decent bread. And I do think that they will, compared to, some of the other Glock-18 skins, especially the classified ones. So I do think that this is one that could very well be undervalued, especially when we look at the all-time chart for this. I mean, it's not like it has increased that much in value. I mean, we're still sitting around like the $50 range. I think that this could at some point in time, hit $100 again, might double our money, might be, I mean, if we really think about it, this might actually be a very strong investment to just buy a decent amount of, lock it in a storage unit, and then come back in a couple years. And I think that this will definitely be one that, goes up in value. Outside of that, another common skin, if we're thinking about like the fade, for an example, Gamma Doppler. So the thing about the Gamma Doppler is that it does come in 5 different phases. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the Emerald. Technically speaking, we want the Emerald because it is the most expensive phase of the skin. Reason why it's so expensive, I mean, just look at how decent it looks in game. It's the same reason why the fade has gone up, significantly in value as well. It's because of how good it looks in CS2. You can even see the massive spike here with CS2. Again, supply and demand. It's the best way to look at any of these skins. Does this skin look good to you? I think it looks incredible. I think that this looks so clean, and that's exactly why it has gone up so much in value. And CS2 definitely did help with that. Now, like I said, in terms of the phases here, the Emerald is going to be the rarest one. There's only 9,663 of these in factory new. Now, going off of the phase 1, there's about 10,844. Going off of the phase 2, there's 11,205. Going off of the phase 3, there's 10,695. And then also the phase 4, we have 10,922. So, I mean, are all of these good investments? Technically, yes. But the problem here is that everyone's going to go after the Emerald because it looks just like this in game. It's very green, it's very shiny, it's very sleek. And that's why this is so much more expensive than all of the rest. But the thing is that I really do think that if we want to maximize our ROI potential, I really do think that buying up some of these other ones, like even the phase 4s, I really do think that this is where we can make a decent amount of money. I think that with the phase 4s, the phase 3s, and even the phase 2s, and even the phase 1s, all of these are so much better than just buying up the Emeralds. Now, do I think that the Emerald is a bad decision? No, I'm just trying to maximize our money. So if we don't have a crazy budget and we can't buy, like, let's say for 10 of the Emerald Glock-18s, then we could buy up like a decent amount of the phase 1s, 2, 3, and even 4. And I do think that the ROI here will still be pretty good because, again, this is going to be one of those Glock-18 skins that is just going to continue to get swallowed up in terms of the supply. And when it comes to the Glock-18 fade, I mean, listen, the only way that you were able to get this was through the 2021 Train Collection, so the supply is very limited. So again, when we think about this, this is a very strong investment. Outside of that, next up on the list, and probably a common one, the Dragon Tattoo. Listen, the notorious 661 trade up in the weapon case. I mean, guys, this is a very expensive Glock-18 skin. In fact, it's one of the most expensive ones in the game. Does it look good? Absolutely not. It does not look that great at all. It's a very simple, skin. It's nothing crazy, but look at the spike in price. Now, why has this gone up like this? Well, it's because of the weapon case, specifically the case hardened AK that's within the weapon case. Everyone wants to trade up to this. So if you can get the Dragon Tattoo in a pretty low flow in stat track, well, guess what? That's a good addition to the inventory to do a trade up and hopefully get that case hardened AK, which is why the supply for this Dragon Tattoo, I mean, if we think about it, there's only, factory new 35,402 compared to stat track 8,653. It's because it's been utilized in so many trade ups. The supply is diminished greatly. I do think that this will be a good hold because over time, I think that more and more people will try to do trade ups with this skin. So the supply for this will just only go down and down and down. And let's just be honest here. I don't think a lot of people are opening weapon cases unless you're train wrecks. So I don't think that there's going to be that crazy of an inflow of supply for the Dragon Tattoo. Outside of that, the Twilight Galaxy, best invest. No, I'm just joking with you guys. The reason why I wanted to bring up the Glock-18 Twilight Galaxy is because of the value of this thing. $335. That's right. And there's 7,737 of the Twilight Galaxy. Why is the value of this so high? Well, we don't really know. I mean, listen, the skin looks good. I will say this. It looks good in CS2, but why wouldn't we just buy up so much more of the Axias? I know that this is a newer skin. It's part of the Sport and Field collection, so it could be dropped in game. But the supply in terms of factory news, guys, there's only 1,144. Is there going to be more of these dropped in game? Sure, there probably will be. But the thing about this is, why would I pay an absurd amount of money, $300+ for the Twilight Galaxy that looks like this, when I can just invest $67 into a factory new Axia that looks like this in game? It looks so clean. You have the mag design as well. It looks so good. The details of this are so crisp. I just don't see why I would overpay on something that looks like this compared to something that looks like this. They look so similar, but the Axia, in my opinion, is way better. So this is one of those investments that I could see being a very strong candidate for a long-term hold. And when we're thinking about the price chart for this thing, it is absolutely flat. So this is definitely one that I could see increasing a significant amount in ROI. Now, next up, the Glockingbird. Again, a newer skin. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I do think that this is a very clean, restricted Glock. I mean, listen, the chart for it, it's not like too crazy. I think that we could easily see probably $15 if the market continues to just kind of chop a bit. But this is a very clean Glock skin. I think that it goes well with certain, inventories. If you have, for an example, like Omega gloves, or maybe you have some green gloves. I just think that it's a nice looking Glock skin. It might not be everyone's favorite, and I get that. I understand. But I just feel like this is, just a very clean looking Glock skin. And in terms of factory new, there's only 439. Will there be more released in the game? I'm sure that there will be. It just all depends on how many people actually get this dropped. But overall, it's a very clean Glock skin. I think it's a very underrated and overlooked Glock skin as well. So this is definitely one that I would add to the list. Outside of that, the Neonor. So this is one of those coverts that I just feel like, over time, it's going to become more and more expensive. I know that we have this crazy jump in value here. I would wait to see if this cools down a bit. But this thing, guys, I feel like this is the best looking Neonor skin in the game. And the reason why, let's just zoom in real quick. Look at the details on the handle here for this. It just looks so clean. I love these like 3 red dots or so. It just is a very clean Glock skin, and look at the mag on it as well. I think that this is way better than the M4A4 Neonor and also the USPS. I think that this is a very, very good Glock to actually invest into. I think that the market right now for it is a little bit crazy in terms of the factory new. In terms of StatTrak factory new, it's been pretty flat. So, although the factory new version of it is going insane, the StatTrak factory new version is actually pretty, chill. It's not like a crazy spike or anything like that. So I do think that this is a very good one to invest into. And also in terms of the supply for the StatTrak factory new, we could see that StatTrak factory new, there's only 876. So this is going to be a very rare Glock-18 skin that I see right now. It's $235. I would not be surprised if this was $500+ in game. I mean, if we think about it like this, I understand the reason why the Dragon Tattoo is so expensive. Trust me, I get it. But when we think about StatTrak factory new, 8,653, $400+, I don't see how the Neonor doesn't get to those high priced targets as well. And like I said, it looks so good in game. I think that it looks clean. I see this being a very expensive Glock skin long term. Next up on the list, we have the Bullet Queen. So very similar to the Neonor, it is a covert. It's in the Prisma 2 case. When we look at the long-term view here, pretty flat chart. I believe that this might actually be in the factory new. Let me go to factory new stat track. Sorry. So again, the chart is absolutely flat here. I do think that this is also another one of those skins that could easily hit like $300 to $500. The skin looks so clean, especially with some Omegas. I mean, it just looks very good. Even the caution gloves kind of go well with this. But it's a very clean Glock-18 skin and one that's kind of overlooked. It's a pretty old skin as well. Came out back in 2020. And when we think about the supply for the StatTrak Factory News, again, 858. I mean, the Neonor and also the Bullet Queen, guys, these two have such a low supply and they both look absolutely incredible. So I could see the value on both of these being squeezed long term. Next up, we have the Wasteland Rebel. And again, this is one of those like, it's a covert, but it's one of those coverts that you either like the skin or you hate the skin. Flatline chart, it looks good. I like these types of skins that are not just like extremely flashy, very nice, very clean. I know that it's not going to be everyone's favorite. It's like the Fire Serpent, right? You have Fire Serpent enjoyers and then you have haters as well. I just feel like this is a very clean looking Glock-18 skin. And again, it's one that only has about 3,844 for the total supply for the StatTrak Factory News. So I do think that this one is pretty rare as well and will go up significantly in value. Next up on the list, we have the Snack Attack. This is a skin that's a classified, okay? It's in the Operation Riptide. Now, if we're thinking about this, this is a Glock that probably gets traded up quite a bit for either the Ocean Drive or the Elite Miseo. Now, if we're thinking about the Snack Attack, all right, there's some of these Glock skins that you don't even know about. This is one that the value has been going crazy for a bit of time. I don't think that it's at like a point where it's like, all right, let's avoid this. Let's wait for the market to cool down. And the reason why I say that is because look at how crisp this skin looks. It might be too much for certain people, but I just love the look of this skin. It's like a meme skin. It looks funny. It reminds me of the movie Sausage Party. I just think that it's a funny looking skin. And it's a very nice looking skin too. The colors on it are so vibrant because of CS2. So I could see this one being extremely valuable long term because of how nice it actually looks. I mean, it looks so clean. And what's crazy about the Snack Attack is if we look at the StatTrak Factory New, there's only 1,074 of these. And it's a cheaper, StatTrak Factory New that has a low supply like this. It's definitely one that's affordable for an investment. So I definitely would add this one to the list if you guys haven't already. And I do think that it will be one that's extremely sought after because it's so rare, but it's so clean at the same time. And last but not least, it's one that I actually own. I only own one of these, and that's the pink DD Pat Glock. This is a restricted Glock. I do not have this in the souvenir version at all. I would actually avoid the souvenir version, and the reason why is because they keep adding it to some of the newer majors, which is inflating the souvenir supply, which definitely affects the price. But if we look at this, it's on a long extended kind of flat uptrend. I see this one being worth at least $200. I know that it's not like the craziest looking skin. It's a very clean Glock. You don't really see it that often, and it is a very rare Glock as well. If we're thinking about the supply for a factory new, 1,265. If we're thinking about a souvenir factory new, again, just going off of the supply here, we could see that there's only, it's kind of hard to see this. It's kind of bunched together. There's only 189 souvenir Glock-18 pink DD Pats, but you can see, when we look at the factory new is a lot more expensive, and it's because the souvenirs kind of ruin the skin. When you look at something like this, you want it to be very simple. You want it to be very clean, which is why I do think that the factory new over the souvenir factory new is far better. But This is also one that I could see being pretty expensive long term. It's a very old skin. It came out back in 2021 as well, with the Operation Riptide, and it's a very rare one too. So with that being said, those are the Glock-18 skins that I would be buying right now. Some of them I'm actually looking at accumulating a bit of. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on to never miss a future update. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.